friends? Welcome to the Aspen Daily Update from the Aspen Daily News. My name is Oliver Sharp. Very excited to be joined today by Alex Sanchez, Executive Director of Voces Unidas. Alex, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being here. To start, can you tell us a bit about your organization and your mission in the community?
Sure. Voces Unidas is a brand new organization. We were started in May of 2020. We are the first Latino-created advocacy organization in the Tri-County region. That includes Pickens, Eagle, and Garfield County. We are about creating community access and ensuring that Latinas and Latinos can advocate for themselves, and that we create an equitable Roaring Fork Valley. In essence, that is our mission. We do leadership development. We work on civic engagement, making sure Latinas and Latinos are voting and participating in all civic institutions. And we do advocacy. We literally change conditions and change systems to ensure more equitable systems and more equitable communities in our valleys.
Excellent. And one of the biggest challenges facing all communities these days is COVID-19. Can you talk about some of your work within the Latino community on education around both COVID-19 and then the vaccine process?
Sure. I think when you have a worldwide pandemic, I think all of us are called to do our part and to lead in our communities. And while we are an advocacy organization, and while we have been advocating with the governor at the federal level, locally with our county elected officials in the local ecosystem, we've also rolled up our sleeves and partnered with other organizations to ensure that we can get resources to all of our members of our community who need it, and also information, which is critical, especially in communities like ours, where it's literally a news desert for a Spanish-dominant member of our community. There's just not a lot of outlets for us to be able to get information, and our local governments may not have all the right infrastructure to be able to reach out to us as effectively as all of us would like. And so Voces Unidas has been, again, working in modeling programs like the Promotora program, where we hire bilingual staff to be able to do one-on-one assistance, to be able to connect people to the right resources. If they have, if they tested positive with COVID and they don't understand isolation or need additional supports, then our promotoras are literally working with members of our community to ensure that they get the right access to information and that they get the right supports. On top of that, we're also very much, invested in making sure that vaccine safety is that that we're doing our part to make sure that our community feels comfortable and safe coming to the various clinics throughout the valleys to be able to get their vaccine through the traditional ecosystem.
And can you talk about some of the clinics you're running for vaccinations? How have those been going, and how many vaccines have you been able to get out into the community?
We know, obviously, the traditional ecosystem, the hospitals, the pharmacies, the medical providers, everyone is doing an amazing job trying to do their part to be able to vaccinate as many people as possible. But even with all of those great intentions, we know that Latinas and Latinos are being left behind for a variety of factors. And so Voces Unidas, again, has rolled up our sleeves, and we're working in partnership with the state and the governor's office to provide a little more equity in an equitable system, our healthcare system. And so we are doing vaccine clinics. We're doing mobile and pop-up vaccine clinics. We've had our first one already. We vaccinated 199 people. Their second dose is actually this Saturday, February 27th, and that's when they'll get their second dose. In addition, our Promotora program is working with members of our community to make sure that people who already qualify for the vaccine are registering and getting access in the traditional ecosystem with our hospital partners, with their traditional clinics partners, to make sure that all of us get access to the vaccine when we qualify. And we will continue to add, obviously, more clinics. We have one scheduled for March, another one in April, and we're going to start to scale up in terms of quantities.
Excellent. And you mentioned there the governor's vaccine equity team. Can you talk about your partnership with that organization and some of the efforts being made at the state level to make sure that we do have an equitable distribution of vaccines?
Well, we're grateful, obviously, to our policymakers, specifically the governor and the vaccine equity team at the state level. They realized after a lot of us advocated for more equity into the system that, even with great intentions, we know that many Coloradans are going to be left behind because of, language barriers, lack of access, people who are not connected to the healthcare system. And so we're just grateful that thanks to the governor and his leadership and the new vaccine equity team, we as a nonprofit are able to partner with the state to be able to bring a few more vaccines into our communities and to be able to give access to people who otherwise would be left behind. And we look forward to continuing that strong partnership we have with the state to continue to do this work until this pandemic is over in June or July, hopefully.
Well, Alex, it sounds like such a great organization. How can people find out more about Voces Unidas and support you in your mission?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to be able to share more about our mission and more about the work that our volunteers and our leaders are executing on a daily basis in our valleys. People can learn more about Voces Unidas at www.vocesunidas.org. And there's a whole lot of information about vaccine access, about vaccine safety, and then all the other wonderful work that we do, which is our core mission, the advocacy, the leadership development, and then some of the work we do during election season. We're always grateful for the contributions and grateful to the many supporters from the Roaring Fork Valley and beyond. And we look forward to continuing to push more information through our website and our social media. You can find us also on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram.
Well, Alex, thank you so much for all the work you and your team are doing here in the community. Really appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to all of you for joining us on this Aspen Daily Update. You can find us at aspendailynews.com and across the social media networks. We'll see you tomorrow.